just started. Everybody, how you doing? My name is Vincenzo Napoli. You could just call me Vinny. It's a lot easier. What I'd like to talk to you all about today is honestly just getting yourself a schedule. And then I'll branch out from a schedule, how we can get ourselves keep going so we're not going backwards. We keep going forward. So really long story short, everybody comes in here either full-time or part-time, right? I honestly am part-time. I'm only working 2 days a week, and I love what I do because I get to make my own schedule. That is the one thing you all have to understand. If you don't have a schedule, you will probably either hate yourself or start to hate yourself. Reason why I say is because you have no boss in this business. Yes, you have your manager. Yes, you have, whoever's on the sidelines, but when you're your own boss, you honestly need to follow a schedule. So let's talk about schedule, right? You're part-time, full-time. Full-timers will work all week. Part-timers will work only a couple of days or maybe one day a week. So if you have a full-time job, this is going to be the best for you to understand that a schedule is what you need to stick to. So long story short, when I got started, I only did it one day a week. I had a full-time job, another full-time job, and then I just squeezed this in to just make ends meet. And when I started making ends meet, that's when I knew that a schedule is what you need to be. So I started with a restaurant business. I was working 80 hours, insane. And then I have my family business, which I was working probably, I want to say 20 hours. So I was working about 100 hours. And then I threw insurance into one day. And that was just amazing. So my schedule, the way it looked like when I first started was Monday, I worked in the morning and at night for 3 hours. All I had is 3, 4 hours from 5 to 9. I made my phone calls, right? On Tuesday, I worked all day in the field. Nothing else was going to get in my way. Not phone calls, not family, nobody. I booked myself from 8 to 8, 8 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m. And if I had to go longer, I would have. But what I wanted to do is I want to make sure that I was in that field. Nothing was going to bother me. So from 8 in the morning to 8 at night, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, I worked in the morning with my family business. And at night, I worked at the restaurant. On Thursday, I worked with my family business and worked at the restaurant. Friday, I worked all day in the restaurant from morning to night. Saturday, I worked all from morning to night. And then on Sunday, I worked in the restaurant if needed, or I took it for the family. I wanted to, spend time with the family somehow, some way. Not every Sunday did I get to spend with the family, but I actually got to eventually. So that was my schedule when I first started. Eventually, I made a great living off of one day, and I decided to leave the restaurant. So now this is where everyone starts figuring out, okay, now what do I do? Well, what I did was I took my family business, which I'm still working till today, and I just put an extra day in the field. So now I work 2 days in the field, still till today. I work all day Tuesday, all day Friday. That's it. Every other day I'm working with my family business, and that's it. So everybody who's part-time, what you want to do is you want to set yourself a schedule. What I recommend you doing is getting an activity book. Okay, this activity book right here will let you schedule everything you need, from what you need to do with clients to what you need to do for your life. It's just going to plan your life out, right? So, here you go right here. You want to schedule what you're doing. If you're spending time with the family, if you're going to church, if you're making your dials, whatever your thing is, make sure you make yourself a schedule and stick to it. Because if you don't stick to it, like I said, you're going to hate yourself. And you'll see why if you don't make yourself a schedule. All right. So setting yourself a schedule, 100%, I recommend it. And what you want to do is you want to make your times when you're dialing, and then you want to make your times when you're in the field. I recommend 100% make a day where you're dialing, or at least a segment, either the morning or the afternoon or the evening. I wouldn't dial in the afternoon. I like dialing mornings and evenings. In my situation, I didn't have mornings, so I dialed in the evening. And then that next day, whatever day you can, if you can get a full day out of your job, I'd make a full day in the field. So you can book yourself about 8 to 10 to 12 appointments. That's going to solidify whatever you do in the field and give you more appointments, more chances just to make the sales you want or hit the numbers you need to. So that's what I did for, like I said, Tuesday and Friday. And then at the end of the day, you also want to be able to pick a day that you're going to run business the next day. So you want to pick at least 2 days a week to do this if you do this part-time. One time works, one day works, but I would do 2 days. And the reason why I say that is because some days you're going to go to some people and they're not going to be there, right? And maybe you're just going to book an appointment that they're not available on that day. So you want to have an extra day. So it's like, okay, I'm sorry, John, I do not have Friday available, but I have Tuesday of next week, or I don't have Tuesday, I have Friday. Or if you get there and they're not there, because it happens, people forget, it's normal, then you can pretty much set them up for Friday or go back that same time on Friday that you booked them on Tuesday. Now you know that you're going to at least get in front of them someday, right? So that's what I recommend doing. Dialing, we can all go into dialing. You want to set yourself at least from in the morning between 4, you want to book yourself in the morning from 8 to 12 or 8 to 11. And then at night, you want to book yourself for dialing between 5 and 9 or 4 and 8. Just between that little segment where people get off work or before people go to work. That's the best time to contact people. And obviously, that's what I would do. That's what I do with a schedule. Don't change it. Stick whatever you're doing with your schedule. Make sure you have one day dialing, the next day in the field, whatever day it is. If it's a Saturday, if it's a Sunday, don't be afraid what day it is of the week. Every day is a good day to dial. Every day is a good day to jump in the field, because there's no wrong day and there's no right day. Everybody always has a life, a schedule. You meet people, they have a hectic schedule just like you. So just think of them just like you. Like, you don't have time, you have to make time. So do they. So just get that out the way. And once you set yourself a schedule, you'll be really happy. All right. So a lot of things that people do is they don't go out in the field unless they have appointments. What I known and what I've done is I figured out the system of how to get past the phone. So I'm not just sitting at my desk hoping I have an appointment, or, okay, I only have 2 appointments. Let me go do 2 appointments, tomorrow. And then I'll have the rest of the day to go barbecue or, go to Walmart or, get a haircut. No, you don't do that. You have 2 appointments, you're still in that field from morning to night. If you have no appointments, you know what you're doing, right? You're taking your lead, or you're taking your appointments that you haven't got in contact with on the phone, and you're going to bring them with you, and you're going to show up at their house because you can't get them on the phone. Just because you don't get them on the phone, just because you don't book an appointment and they tell you no, you still got to go to their house. You still got to show up. You still got to present yourself. What you're designed and what you're chosen to do is you're the guy who's supposed to get this information to them that they requested. Not everybody's going to book an appointment on the phone. So what you want to do is you want to go to their house, you want to knock on their door, and just chat with them and let them know what they sent in, and just talk with them. They're people, some people are going to be nice, some people are not going to be nice. It's people. You're dealing with people. But what the end of the day is don't wait for a full day of appointments to go out, or don't just do 2 days and spend the rest of the day with your friends. Make that day you're out in that field, make it most useful. Every hour you're in that field, make it useful, make it money, make something happen. If you're calling, an agent, or you're talking to somebody, make sure that whole day in the field, you're in front of clients. Okay. We're talking to an agent that's going to be helped. But that's what I would do when it comes to leads. Now, there's programs you can definitely download that I have downloaded. One is called Route for Me. The other one's called Road Warrior. I recommend getting that because you can put all your addresses in an app and click one button, and it'll tell you where you are closest to the next person that's in your addresses. So when you don't have appointments, but you have addresses from your leads, put them in that system, click a button. And even if you have no appointments, maybe you're just not as good, or maybe you just picked the wrong day, on some people, or maybe your leads, maybe you ran out of leads. Who knows? Grab those leads, put all them in the appointment, put all your, all your times, all your addresses into this program, and just go show up from A, B, C, D until 8 o'clock at night, until it gets dark. And even after dark, really, you're just trying to make ends meet by meeting these people, however you got to do it. So when you're on the phone, you're just trying to find out when they're home. And then when you get to their house, if they're not there, I hope you're putting something on their door, because when you get there, they might not be there. It's a 50-50 chance, right? So what I would like to do is I would get delivery notices. And these are really important. I would buy them on the Alliance website. This is what it's called. This is what it looks like. You'll fill this out, stick it on their door. And when they come home, they're going to figure out, okay, they missed something, right? So they're going to call you back. You could pick up, be a nice guy. But what I recommend is going back as soon as they call you. Don't answer the phone. Just show up at their house. Because you know they're already there at the house. They just picked up your delivery notice. Just give them, just show up. And if you're out of the field and you're home with your family, take that time that they called you that day and show up your next day in the field, in the next day when you're in the field at that same exact time they called you. Because you might know now they're off work at 6 o'clock, or they're home at 8 in the morning. Take that time and show back at their house. And then that's what I would do, 100%. So make sure you're making useful of all your leads, and make sure you're making your schedule stick completely. I mean, I've seen a lot of things, in the field. When you get there, you got to try to get in the house. Okay. So whatever you got to do, tell them you want to do a policy review, whatever you got to do. What I'm doing is I'm not stopping on the phone, and I'm not going to stop at the door. I'm going to make sure I get this information and acknowledge the person who wrote this or sent this information in, because they don't know anything about insurance. All they know is they want information. You're that guy to get that info, or that girl to get that information to them the best way you possibly can. So I recommend sticking to a schedule. I recommend taking your leads, knocking on the doors that don't answer the phone, because people just don't answer unknown numbers sometimes. And some people just never answer their phone, period. Maybe the phones are broken. I don't know. All I do know is that they're still at that address majority of the times, and they need to be confronted. So either you're going to do it or someone else is going to do it. Because if you stay on the phone all day hoping you're going to get an appointment, or only have 3 appointments, and put the leads that never answer the phone on the side, well, I promise you, somebody is going to get in touch with that person. If it's not you, it's somebody else. And they're going to get there, and they're going to show up, because they don't want to wait till someone answers the phone, and they're going to help them out before you do. And then when you decide to go to them and you decide to take it to their door, you say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody already helped me out with this. Thank you. Have a good day." And you're going to hate yourself, because you could have been that person first to help them out when they wanted to help. But you were too stubborn or too scared to go to their house and help them out. So that's what I recommend when it comes to setting a schedule. When you're taking your leads, what makes you successful is honestly just doing the work, following the system, doing the work, calling your upline, talking to your upline. If you're in the house, make sure you're either leaving with a check or you're making a phone call. Because how many times can you leave a house and not know what's going on or how to help that client? And you're stuck, he's stuck, you leave, and then you call your upline and say, "Oh, I couldn't do it." And your upline says, "Well, you could have went with this company." It's like, oh my God, no one told me. So just make a phone call. Can't hurt. The worst that can happen is they can't help them. The best thing that's going to happen is you're going to help them. You're going to get a check, and you're going to be happy. So that's what schedules. That's what leads. Next thing is, there's a lot of things going on in life with training. And if you miss the bus on training, you're missing the bus everywhere. Because if you think about it, everybody needs help. Okay. You can't do this business alone. You're not going to want to do this business alone. And let's put it this way, we like to have people around us that wants to do the same thing and help us, right? So what I recommend is we have these trainings scheduled all over the United States, and some places are right in your backyard and some are not. It's okay. It's worth the drive. It's worth the price. What I would do is every event that you have that is going on, or every single training that's going on around you, or even every convention that we have set up, or every team call or Wednesday call or activity call or product call. There's a lot of calls, there's a lot of training. You can never just say you haven't been trained, because there's a lot of training. If it's not your upline, it's going to be somebody who's in the business for a while. And what you want to do is you want to get around this environment because they're going to help you every step of the way. They're going to figure out the problem that you're doing, that you keep doing, because the meaning of insanity and the definition is when you're doing the same thing and getting the same results. If you're not succeeding, your best bet is to figure it out and change it. Don't keep doing it. So going to these trainings, going to these calls, going to these conventions, you're going to see people that are actually actively doing this and actively getting results. And then you can mimic what they're doing, take all the information in like a sponge and use it for your business. Use it for when you get back in that field. Plus, it's going to fire you up because I know if you have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, I know you're like, God almighty, this is not going to work out. And it's like, no, it's going to work out. You just need to get around positive people that's going to tell you it's going to work out because it is. And you're going to find out what you're doing wrong. So you're not going backwards, you're going forwards. So it's 100% ready for you to get to these trainings, stay on these trainings, get with your upline, book it on your calendar so nothing else can get in the way. If you know something's going on in August, book it now on your calendar. Because let's put it this way, you don't book it, you don't know it's there, you forget about it, it comes closer, damn, boom, you're not going to make it. You know, oh, I'm sorry, I had a barbecue, or oh, I'm sorry, I'm going out of town. It's like, no, book it now, stick to it, get there, make it happen. 100% with your trainings. Definitely be around everything you possibly can, and just plug into your upline, your manager, you know, the top producers in this country. They'll help you out. You know, if one person ain't helping you out, everyone's here to help you. So get numbers, reach out to people in your state that's local to you that you can get around and figure out what they're doing that you're not. I have a lot of tips and tricks. You know, I'm not going to talk about it unless somebody asks me, hey, you know, what are you doing here in the house? What are you doing here on the phone? You know, I don't mind having any conversations on the side with anybody. You want to reach out to me, ask Rachel, ask Nick. I'll be glad to talk to anybody on the side because look, I'm here and I'm willing to help anyone. That's what got me in this business and made me stay in this business. I came in here to pretty much spend more time with my family. I didn't want to come in here and make a lot of money. It's crazy because a lot of people want to make money. I love making money, but I also love family time. And that was the most important thing. Working 120 hours, 100 hours a week in two businesses and not having time with my family, it kind of crushed me. It just ruined me. I couldn't even start a family. I got married last year. That's another thing I want to touch base real quick on. People who are married, people that have girlfriends, spouses, you know, your significant other, you got to get them on board. Okay, this is really important. This is what made me where I'm at today. Because if it wasn't for my spouse being on board, I think it would have been a harder to get where I'm at now. I mean, I'm not saying I would have not made it. Who knows? I haven't been through that. But when I first got started, my wife was not on board with this. She honestly called me crazy. And most people will hear from their spouse, you're crazy, or your family, you're crazy. You're not crazy because what you're doing is going to help people. You're here to help people, not make money. The money will come with it. But when you start helping clients, they will actually see that you really want to help them. And then they're going to give you their checkbook. They'll give you their daughter for a date, whatever the case is, they're going to trust you with their information. But if they can't trust you, they're not going to want anything from you. And so that's what you got to do. You got to build the trust. And that's a whole nother topic, is building trust. But what you want to do is make sure you care about your clients, make sure you're caring, you wanting to help them. So my spouse did not really care about this business, did not care about anything. She knew that I want to do what I want to do, but she's like, well, good luck. She was never on board. So what I did is I brought her around to the conventions. I brought her around to the trainings. I got her near the people that had spouses on their own. And what I did is I got her introduced to the alliance. And that's what really helped me out, because when you have your spouse on board with you, two people that both see the same dream is going to be a straight road, right? If you have one spouse telling me you're crazy in the background and not giving you any pushing positive and giving you the negative, or your family's giving you negative, it's just going to bring you down. And eventually you're just going to be like, well, maybe they are right. Maybe this isn't for me. That's wrong. It is for you. You just got to make sure that you stick to the positivity and not stick to the negative. So get your spouse on board, get them to the trainings, get them to, get them on the phone, make sure they're talking to the other spouses in the other groups. And that's what you want to do, because when they start talking to the other spouses, they start relating. Then maybe you guys can go out for dinner, take out for dinner, maybe take them out for, maybe go golfing or, go play football, do something that, you all can enjoy, and not just make it about business, but make a relationship. The relationship's going to keep you. This is what keeps everyone in this business, especially the alliance. It's all about culture. It's like family. We're not bashing each other. We're all lifting each other up. So when you get around this kind of positive mentality, it's going to just boost your positivity 100%. So I recommend getting your spouse or your family or whoever is putting you down around the business, and just get them to where your positivity is and their positivity, and they're all matching positive, and you'll be good. Because if you don't get your spouse on board, it's going to be a harder road. Bad enough that some days are going to be harder than others, and some days you're just not going to want to pick up the phone and make those calls. Look, it gets like that. Okay. Me, everybody in this world is pretty much just in people, and when you're making these phone calls, you're like, oh man, I don't want to, go. I don't even want to get up and do these phone calls. No, you got to stick to your schedule. You got to make your phone calls. You got to be in the field, and you got to make it happen. Okay. If you're not making your calls, get in that field regardless. I don't care if you make any calls. Take all the leads and go show up at their house. If you don't want to make calls, I don't recommend not making calls, because what calls are going to do is really to get you in front of people, right? So what you want to do is, you don't want to waste your time. It's very important. You don't want to waste your gas. It's very important, very expensive. And you don't want to waste any time. You don't want to waste nothing. You want to make sure all you're saving your gas, you're saving your time. You want to make every hour count. So, if you don't make your calls, you just show up at their house, one way or another, get in front of that client. That's my recommendation. I don't care what you do, if you call or you show up. I recommend calling. It saves you a lot of time versus going to people's houses and just knocking on doors. Eventually it's going to get old and boring, and you're going to be like, what am I doing? Like, I'm a grown person in front of somebody's house, and if they're there, if they're not, like, what am I doing with my life? It's like, no, get some appointments set up. If you have 2, 3, or 4, or 8, I book about 8 to 12 appointments a day. And I recommend you definitely using your activity book, because of the fact that that's about scheduling. So here we go. Obviously, I went to the hangar, which the Alliance had. So obviously my Tuesday is empty, which is horrible. I wasted a whole day. I want to kick myself in the face, but no, I don't. Actually, I'm really happy. I went around the Alliance for a Tuesday that I would be in the field. I took a day out of work, but you know what I did? I learned a lot more that now I brought to my business on Friday. So what happened on Friday, July 22nd, is I booked a good day, because what I learned at Tuesday got me fired up for Friday. And then on Friday, I wrote probably close to 3,000, 4,000 AP. And that really, really excited me. So that's what you want to do. Tuesdays, Fridays, Tuesdays, Fridays. There's Friday, flip the page, there's Tuesday, right? So mine, like I said, Friday and Tuesday is my day. Pick your day that you want. Pick your day that you want to run business, but make sure you make one day calling, the next day in the field. Don't do calling 3, 4 days in the field, 4 days later. Like, no, you want to book it as close as possible when you make those appointments, because people will forget. You might not be busy, but they will forget. And when you show up, they're not there because it's 3 days later. People forget, and they don't remember this stuff. So I recommend doing that. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to go over anything, from referrals to phone scripts to anything you need. Whatever makes you excited, gets me excited. Whatever I can do to help you makes me really excited. I know Dan Hoyt is going to be speaking. He's going to be talking about getting to these events. Like I was telling you, you have to get to these events. So book it on your calendar, make it a priority, make it like it's your life depends on it, and get to these events. Bring your spouse, bring your friends, bring one extra person there. You never know, you might be able to change their life. They might want to work with you. And then now you're both doing it. You're a power couple, or, friends doing this together. 2 is better than 1. 3 is better than 1. The more you have, the more fun it is. The more it's going to make you want to go crazy and maybe be competitive, because you might have that guy doing better than you, and you're like, oh, no, I got to do better than you. And it's like, all right, well, we got to do together. So just have fun with it, guys. Don't make it stressful. Don't let any negativity get around you, and just have fun with it, because if you don't have fun with it, it will eat you alive. every time you don't make a sale, don't get upset. There's always tomorrow. It's every day that doesn't work out for you, there's always tomorrow. And you can just try harder, learn something new, and be an open book. Because if you think you know everything, you ain't gonna make it in this business. You need to be an open book. Take everything everybody tells you, be a sponge, and use it. Don't just listen to it like go one ear and out the other, because that ain't doing nothing for you. Obviously, it ain't gonna change anyone else's life but yours. So I don't know, Rachel, if you want me to talk about anything else or if anyone has any questions before I pass it over to Dan Hoyt.
Vinny, this has been so good. Our team chat is blowing up, just saying, wow, oh my gosh, I hope you're on this call. You're dropping so many nuggets. Can you just, before we get Dan on, can you just tell us how you're really disciplining your mindset as far as in the days where you don't go out there and kill it, right? Like in the beginning, you weren't as skilled as you are today. Like, you're a top earner now, and you're out there just making huge waves in this and writing 3 or 4,000 in one day. So when you were brand new and you would have a no-show, or you would door knock and nobody was there, and you were just having all this disappointment. I know you had mentioned that you were sticking around the people they were pouring positivity into you, and you were going to the events, which was keeping you on fire with this. But what were you saying to talk to yourself? How were you handling when you're running appointments on Tuesday? You might have only had one day in the beginning to run these appointments, and then you're not running appointments till the next week. What kept you motivated and kept you in this? Because a lot of people at that point, they run some appointments and they quit because they're not getting the results that they want. How are you so persistent with making this thing happen?
So yeah, what I recommend is, like I said, have your spouse staying positive, because there is going to be some days where it's not going to be so good. You're going to get in that field. You're not going to make any sales. You can have 12 appointments and not make any sales, and it can happen. It's scary because now you're like going home empty handed. So the positivity comes with, like I said, think about the next day. Think about there is tomorrow. Or for me at the time when I first started, I didn't have tomorrow. I had till next week. So, that really messed my mind up. When I first started, I was not a good door knocker. Honestly, was scared to get to the door. I showed up at the door and I'm just like, all right, I don't know who's going to come behind. I don't know who's going to come in front of me. All I know is I'm going to knock on this door and I'm just going to show them what they sent in. And that's all I did. And believe it or not, the first person was really nice. I got lucky. That first person was really nice and let me in and was like, oh yeah, I sent this in, but no one called me about it. It's like, oh yeah, okay, well, I honestly, told that guy what I was there for. And, obviously I didn't make that sale, that first knock on the door, but I went in there and I learned a lot. So my mentality from the beginning to now is changed from staying positive. So what I did was I get in the car, I put music on. Okay. I don't drive where just it's silent, because if it's silent, I start thinking of some crazy things. I start thinking about if that person's going to be there, or is this appointment going to work out. So I put some music on to get my mind right. Okay. Either it's music I like, or it's some religious music that's going to bring me up. Because, obviously when you listen to religious music, it just brings you up or makes you, make you happy. Or you listen to some crazy rap or some rock, whatever's your music. If you're not listening to music and you're not a fan of music, I recommend putting some audios on that the Alliance puts out there. You can do the Circle of Me. You can do the 8 Steps to Success. I recommend getting that audio and just listening to it, and maybe over and over until it sticks. Like, okay, I have these 8 steps that I got to follow and make it to where I got to, just keep it as, it's solid. I got to keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, put music on. When I get to people's houses and I'm not there, I'm upset because I wasted my gas, I wasted my time. But like I said, I put delivery notice on, move on to the next, just keep moving on to the next. You just got to go through the numbers. It's a numbers game. It's not about, you can't say this person's going to work out. No, you don't know. The people that you don't think it's going to work out, it works out. The people that works out doesn't work. It's diverse. And also everything happens for a reason. So you'll be at some appointments where it doesn't work out. And as you keep doing this, when I first started, I was like noticing my appointments that didn't work out weren't supposed to work out. The ones that did work out, it was weird because it was like, okay, I had this appointment, didn't work out, and knocked the door The next door I knocked on, he let me in. I sold him, and he told me that he's not there until Tuesdays anyway. Once a month he's there on Tuesdays. I'm like, oh my God, how crazy is it? He's like, yeah. So maybe the last person who brought, came up to him was never, never made it there on Tuesday. Maybe they made it there on Wednesday or Friday. Who knows? So I believe everything happens for a reason. So everything that happens in business, my mentality is it happens for a reason. You know what I mean? You might have some days where you make a lot of sales and you're really excited. I don't recommend taking all that money and go blowing it, on tickets, lotto tickets, plane tickets, because you want to have that money, but you also want to invest back in your business. And what I recommend is when you make money, you take a little bit of that money, put it to the side, and every week buy some more leads. Not a lot of leads, but buy a little bit more so you're not getting too much where you're going crazy and you're getting falling behind. But I recommend literally getting a little bit every week so you're not using the same leads for the past 3 weeks, which obviously by that point they're just dead. You just got to show up at their house now. They ain't answering the phone. Like, you probably made their phone go. Maybe they took the phone off the hook because of you. But at the end of the day, what you really want to do is keep your mind positive. So when I first started, you're right, I had one day, and that was rough because some days I couldn't even make my calls on Monday. Like, I was so busy with my family business that it's like, okay, or I had to make dinner for my wife. So what I had to do is I had to make those phone calls. If I didn't make those phone calls, I'm still in Tuesday and I'm still running that field. I'm still in there. I'm still knocking on doors. I'm doing whatever it took. And my mentality is if I didn't have it on Tuesday, I had to wait till next week. And that was rough. So like I said, it's what I did. I had to stay positive. I had to get around people that, I would call my upline every day. I've called people, my upline 17 times in one appointment when I first started. No BS. Like, he picked up the call 17 times. I made the sale, but 17 times, because don't be afraid to make a phone call. Don't think that that person's looking at you like, oh my God, this guy doesn't know nothing. He's new. That's not true. They respect you when you call because they see you that you really want to do the right thing for them, and they see that you want to get a second opinion. So what I do is I'm in the house, I just call up and say, look, let me make a phone call to my, senior manager, my upline. I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for you and make sure if he's on the same page as I am. And they're like, oh yeah, go ahead, please. I recommend it. Okay, cool. Get on the phone. They already love you because now you're caring about them. You're not just like, oh, if you act like you don't know what you're doing when you're brand new, the people will see it. So act like you know what you're doing. Just, I don't say fake it to make it, but fake it to make it. They don't know. They just know that you're there to help them. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. So just have fun with it. Like I said, keep the mentality positive. And get around people that's going to keep it 100% with you.
I love it. I love it, Vinny. And one of the things I didn't tell you guys earlier, I actually met Vinny at the last big event, and I heard him talking to one of the carriers, and I was so blown away by how he was asking questions as a carrier. He sounded so smart that I was like, can I have your number? And I just like, I didn't even know what his name was. I said, can I please have your number? You seem like you're really killing it in this business. And then I had found out, he's one of the top earners on the leaderboard every week, and just making it happen in a really big way on a part-time basis. And Vinny actually told me, he said, yes, you can get my number. And if you need help, call me. I like the fire that I see in you. If you need help, call me. And I've been in situations where I've called my upline and I haven't been able to get a hold of anyone. So I've called Vinny, and Vinny has actually walked me through what to do. So, learn from him, and also just meet other people. Like, get Vinny's number, get my number, get people's numbers to help you so that when you're in these homes. I loved what Vinny said. He called his upline 17 times. Guys, you're not bothering us when you're brand new to the insurance. I'm still brand new to the insurance. There's still things I don't know. Please call us. You're not bothering us. We were in your position, just like Vinny was in your position. We just want to help you guys win. That's the most important thing. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, Vinny. The last question that we have that somebody actually asked before we pass it over to Dan was, how many leads were you investing in to get to your appointments when you first started doing this business once a week?
Okay, so we talking about part-time or full-time? Because part-time, excuse me, you don't need 50 leads. Really, what I would do is just, I would get an amount that you're able to work. So I would talk to your upline, figure out what type of leads you're going to use. My leads that I started with and I'm still doing till today because I love them and I recommend them to anybody. Yeah, not every lead is perfect, but no lead is perfect. I recommend getting direct mail. We actually offer them in the Alliance. They're all different ranges from brand new to real 2, 3 years old. Every lead's good, so I recommend trying them all. But what I would do is when I first got started, I got about 20 to 30 leads mixed from, a couple weeks old to maybe a couple months to a year old. And what I did was I wanted to learn. So I got the older leads because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't messing up on the brand new ones. So what I did was I just made my calls. I practiced on them. That's all you can do is practice. Practice makes perfect. So you just got to go through them and learn the phone scripts, learn how to talk to people, learn how to get, told no 1,000 times before you get that yes. Because if you start getting brand new leads and it's just a mess. You don't want to spend too much money and not make enough back, right? So what you want to do is get enough that's going to. So I would tell you when you first get started, get a variety of leads and a big amount of leads, not a small amount where they're brand new, because we all want to get better and you're not going to get better when you first get started unless you practice. And if you have only 7 leads, you're going to get through them in about 10 minutes. Maybe one might pick up, maybe two might pick up. But if you have like 30 or 40 leads and you spent like, let's say $300, $400, well then heck, you got 40 shots, you spent $300, $400. One of those sales is making all your money back. Every other lead on there is profit. So I recommend direct mail. The amount you get, there's really no set amount. I would just start with one set and see where it goes from there. And if it's not enough for you or you're running through them too quick. Now, if you run through them quick, like I said, just make sure you show up at their house. Don't put them aside and throw them in the trash. Whatever you do, make sure you're getting in front of them. If you're not getting in front of them, that lead is not, it's not done. It's not done. So make sure you're not taking your lead and putting it to the side and let it get old. I would give it tops 1 week, 1 week with that lead in your hand that you can't get on the phone, and go show up at their house. If not, make it 1, 2 dial sessions and then go show up at the house. Don't let the lead get old, because I promise you right now, when people want insurance, they're not going to wait for you to get to their house. They're going to find the person that's going to help them. And you might not be that person because you're not there at the time. So just get to them as soon as possible. And I don't recommend leaving phone messages. I don't recommend texting them. Make phone calls. They don't answer. And I'd call every lead 3 times back to back. I wouldn't call once, move on to the next. No, you call them, ring, ring, ring. You let it ring for like 5 times, hang up, redial after 4 seconds, do it again. Do that 3 times in a row. After that, if they don't answer, because most people don't answer the phone number the first time, it just doesn't happen. Second time you call, they think it's like, okay, who's this person calling me twice? Third time, they think it's important. They think it's an emergency. So they'll call you back or they'll answer the phone. So recommend calling every lead 3 times, then move on to the next, and just do that consistently. You'd be surprised how many people pick up on the third try. It's a numbers game, but it's also a mentality game. And it's about what works. And that's been proven to work. So if you don't call 3 times in a row, you're wasting your phone dialing session. Like I've done when I first started. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna call 3 times. That's horrible. Like I wouldn't want no one calling me 3 times. That's a bother. No, it's not a bother. Because when I first started, I calling them one, no one's answering. I'm like, all right, I'm getting annoyed. So then one person was like, look, you need to call 3 times. She's like, that's horrible. It's like, okay, then don't do it. Don't succeed. Just do what you're doing. Good luck. It's like, all right. And then you fall on your face. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do this 3 times and see what happens. And then boom, there we go. Full day of appointments because people pick up on the second, third try. So I recommend, but for the leads, like I said, there's no set amount. I'm looking at the questions and answers. There's no more questions on here. It says answered. How long does each appointment take? Each appointment takes about an hour long. So I would book all your appointments depending on where you're at in your state. Some places are further than others. If they're like 30 minutes apart by each city, then I would book every hour. So I'd like to book between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. So if they're not there, I'm not wasting 3 hours to the next appointment. Now, if you're further along and you're like really far from each county, like some places in the state is like an hour from each city. It's like, oh my God, ridiculous. Then I would book obviously every 2 hours, like 1 to 2, and then maybe from 3 to 4. So that 2 to 3, you have some time to get to the next place. But if you think about it, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 is actually an hour and a half for appointments. It gives you 30 minutes to get to your next appointment and an hour to do the appointment. When you're brand new, you're gonna take a little longer. I took 3 hours in the house when I first got started, maybe 4. People were looking at me like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to build rapport. And I built rapport for like 30 minutes. Like rapport is really important. But when you're listening to them and hearing stories for like 15, 20 minutes, you got to stop them eventually because they'll never stop. There's some people who just talk your ear off because they're lonely, they're bored. So I recommend 100% to just figure out where you are in your state. And I would, like I said, each appointment takes about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. When you're newer, it takes about an hour, maybe 15 extra minutes because you're building rapport. About an hour is safe to say. If you have any more questions, but I hope that answered your question. I answered how many leads you're investing. You first get started. Yeah. Any more questions? I mean, I'm reading them now. I didn't even know there was questions up here.
No, that was so good, Vinny. Wow. Oh my gosh. Just the amount of nuggets that I've gotten from this call alone. I hope y'all were taking notes, especially our part-timers. He is a living, breathing example of how you can absolutely make it happen in a big way. We are just so grateful that you took 45 minutes out of your Wednesday night to help us. So thank you so much. Tell Danielle, thank you for letting us borrow you tonight. And Vinny, we're just excited. We're excited for our people to meet you at the next big event, Breakthrough.
Absolutely. I can put my number up here if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
So everybody can have it and reach out to me. Just let me know your name because I don't pick up unknown numbers. I just don't. But there's my personal cell number. You can text me, reach out to me. I'll make some time to talk with you, every single one of you. I'm not afraid. I hope you're not afraid because I'll tell you the truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. So if you call me, I'm 100%. I'm rough. I'll tell you. The reason why is that I want you to succeed. I don't want to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you, yeah, it's peaches and cream. You're good. Don't worry. No, you got to worry some things. And some things you do want to worry about is when you're not getting the results you want. And that's when you have to reach out to somebody. If somebody next to you is not helping you, reach out to me, reach out to somebody that's going to help you because someone's going to help you in this business. So, hey, Rachel, let me know if I can do anything else. Other than that, it's been a pleasure talking to the team and thanks for inviting me on. You guys are one of the most talked of the groups out of the whole alliance. You guys are building, you guys are growing really rapidly fast. And everybody here is just excited as much as I am. You guys fire me up.
Thank you so much, Vinny. We appreciate it. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yes, so excited. So next up, we have the one and only Mr. Dan Hoyt. Dan is one of the most dynamic people you ever meet. Not only is he's such a great man of God, but he just truly wants to help people win at this business and on a very big level. Dan is one of the biggest organizations definitely within our group and probably one of the biggest ones in the company right now. He is firing on all cylinders. So we have the rare opportunity to get to hear from him for the next 10 or 15 minutes. Just listen to what he has to say, guys. He's just making this business happen in a very, very big way. So Dan, take it away.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you great.
Perfect. Let me know if it cuts out or anything. My reception's kind of shoddy, but we'll get it through. So thank you, Rachel. Vinny, bro, beast from the East, the Italian stallion. Vinny, dude, you freaking crushed it. Thank you so much for pouring into our team. I know that you don't benefit financially in any way by sharing your nuggets. You're just that kind of a person, and we appreciate you. We'll go to war with you any day. And if there's any way that we can add value to your team, please let us know because we are, it's a yes before you even ask. So thank you. Guys, listen. I only have a few minutes to spend with you. So this is the fourth quarter of the game, right? We've been on the call for, an incredible call for over 45 minutes. And you guys are probably like, I got to go to bed. I got to eat, whatever. Listen, let's just focus for a couple minutes because this is super duper duper important. All right. So listen, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Dan J. Hoyt, AKA Spartan. And I hail from the mean streets of Broomfield, Colorado. Just kidding. It's not mean at all. It's mostly a retirement community, lots of old people. The most dangerous thing you come across are either tumbleweeds or old people that are taking too much of their medication while driving. So listen, I saw this business just over a year ago, and I've never seen anything like it. And our whole purpose with doing these Tuesday night, normally Tuesday, tonight, Wednesday night calls for you guys is just to pump this full of value, to pour into you the way, we wished, the way that people have poured into us in this business, and the way that we wished, 10 years ago, people had poured into us. And so we're doing everything we possibly can to help everybody win because we care about you. We don't bring anybody into the fold that we don't absolutely care about. Now, whether you're brought in by Nick or Mike or Rachel or any of our Dave or any of our other top leaders, like, listen, we care about you and we want you to win. Vinny wants you to win. Rachel wants you to win. I want you to win. So how do we do that? Well, first off, let me give you a disclaimer. All right. For the next 10 minutes, if for whatever reason you're on this call and your life is 10,000x exceptional, awesome, amazing, and literally you wake up every day and you get to live life exactly how you want to live it. You spend as much time with the people that you care about as you want to. Your finances and your bank account is as big as you ever want it to be. You get to spend the time with your family. You're creating memories all over the world, and you feel like you are fulfilling your purpose of why God put you on this planet. Then listen, this next 10 minutes may or may not be for you. But for the rest of us, this is hyper important. This is the key to the door to the next level of your life, of your finances, of your of you as a person, of a core. And it's all comes down to how do we help you get from where you are to where you want to be, right? That's what we're going to talk about real quick. The very first thing we need to figure out is, why are you even here? Why are you here? Why are you on this call for the last almost hour on a Wednesday night? Why did you say yes to the person that showed this to you? Why are you what are you pursuing? What are you even looking for? What is the reason you are here? See, what I know is that you wouldn't be here unless you're seeking something. Yes? You're seeking something. And what that is the next level. It's fulfillment, it's purpose, right? It could be in the disguise of money. All right. It could be whatever. But at the end of the day, it's because you want progression. You want the next level in your life. And you feel like this is how to get through there. Well, I agree with you. This is how we can get you there. But just like anything else, it's not any road will get you there. There is a very specific path to win here. How do I know? Because I live that path. I'm surrounded by people that live that path. And we want to help you get your alliance ring, help you be on the top of the leader charts, help you get on stage. Like Vinny, he's a freaking rock star. I'm convinced we're going to see him on stage as a trainer here. So matter of fact, I texted Asetta and said, you got to check this guy out. All right. And so we have to listen to the people that know what they're doing to get us to where we want to be. But it's more important than that. All right. You have to decide, do you want to do this quickly or do you want to do it slowly? If you want to do it slowly, that's completely cool. Nothing wrong with that. But what if you could take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and collapse it into 3 days, collapse it into a weekend? What if there was a way that you could go somewhere and the top most elite people in the entire industry that you're trying to pursue will be there, and they would give you everything they know on how to win and in what order, right? If you were trying to unlock a combination lock, if you had all the numbers, but you didn't know the order in which to enter them, are you going to open that safe? Probably not. All right. Because there's so many different combinations, right? So not only do we want you to know what to do, how to do, and all that stuff, but the order in which to do those things. All right. And so we want to collapse timeframes. We want to take years of experience. We want to take years of, appointment setting, of calling, of going into the field. We want to take years of that experience and condense that down into a day, a weekend of training that teaches you exactly how to do this, because you can go out and do it on your own. Nothing wrong with that per se. It's just going to take you a really long time. So if I told you that whatever your financial goals are at the end of 10 years worth of banging your head against the wall and trial and error and all that kind of stuff, or it was at the end of a couple weekends worth of events, which one would you pick? I would hope the weekend, unless you just are like, man, I ain't got nothing going on. And I don't mind taking 5-10 years to learn this. That's cool. For the rest of us, there is a way to do that. And so not only we have to collapse those timeframes, we have to figure out how do we take 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of experience, and how do we get that to people as soon as possible? And so we have an event coming up August 13th in Dallas, Texas. And here's why you will be there. Here is why you will do whatever it takes, cancel whatever you got going on, figure out, sell something to get there. I mean, it's dirt cheap. I think the tickets are like, I don't know, they're under 50 bucks, I think 30, 40 bucks, something like that. And so, flight or driving or whatever, you're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And here's why. There's going to be someone there named Mike Gira. There's going to be someone there named Nick Greco. There's going to be someone there named Mark Hutchinson. Okay. There's going to be someone there named Stephen Davies. There's going to be someone there named Mark Aceta. Now, the people that I've listed to you are, not only are they great, but they are exceptional at what they do. And they were all chosen specifically to teach you a certain skill set that is imperative for you to get to the next level in this business. All right. So let me give you an example. Nick Greco was the fastest person in company history to hit the level that he's at. Wouldn't you want to learn from someone that did that? I think I would. That's why I'm going. There's a guy named Mark Hutchinson who on a couple days a week, part-time, is making $500,000 a year. This guy has the best lifestyle I've ever seen. I mean, he's on vacation like literally every week. And so he went from being an electrician's assistant to learning how to do this, all right, and making more money, like 10x what he used to make, all right? Wouldn't it make sense for you to come learn from that guy? Oh, by the way, he never built a team until we showed up. So this guy has been absolutely crushing it, all right, without a team. And then we show up and now he's got a team too, all right? So if you're coming into this, you're like, I don't want to build a team. I just want to learn how to make a gazillion dollars selling insurance. Mark Hutchinson's the guy. He's like the Yoda of our business with insurance. So come learn from him. There's a guy, Stephen Davies. Listen, who do you think taught Mark? Stephen has built a massive organization. He became a 7-figure earner within 3 years of doing this. I think he was in his second year. He retired for over 10 years. He's made over $20 million doing this deal. Guys, listen, Stephen Davies is somebody you want to learn from. Stephen Davies is going to give you the key of exactly what to do when you're in the home, exactly what to do to build a team, exactly what to do to have absolute financial freedom. There's a guy named Mark Aceta, who in my opinion is the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it comes to sales training. And oh, by the way, he is an expert in what we do, building teams. Mark Aceta, to get his time, you need to spend $20,000 if you wanted his time. We get him an entire Saturday on August 13th, and it's less than $50. Listen, you are throwing away money. You are literally you're taking your financial future and lighting that thing, I almost cussed, on fire if you're not there. Because listen, guys, if you wanted to play basketball and you could learn from Jordan or your next door neighbor or your gym high school coach, which one are you going to pick? But you have to be in alignment with what you say you want. So again, why are you here? What do you want? And do you want to get it quickly or slowly? If you want it quickly, we need to collapse those time frames and learn from the people that know how to do this and have lived it and experienced it. And oh, by the way, just a little something, they're willing to give it to you. They're willing to pass on years, decades of experience to you for you to win. All right. Most of the people that are coming to this deal, like, it doesn't matter. They don't need any more money. All right. They're crushing it. They could literally go on the moon and retire. All right. And they're coming to share this information with us. And then the other side of it is, not only do you need the skills, and not only do you need the combination and the order, but you also need the belief. Listen, guys, I don't care how good you are at a skill. If you don't believe you can win, you're not gonna win. All right. And so you have to learn, you have to get to the point where you believe. All right. You believe in the industry, you believe in the company, and most of all, you believe in yourself. And if you don't believe, all right, then it's just not going to happen. So in the beginning, you might have excitement that'll only take you so far, but it's when you come to these events and you learn that Stephen Davies, Mark Aceta, Mark Hutchinson, Nick Greco, Mike Gira, myself, everybody, Rachel, we were all just doing regular stuff with very average backgrounds until we found mentors willing to teach us what they did. And all we did was follow the path in the correct order. All right. And that led to the belief, because your confidence doesn't always lead to competence. So if you fake it till you're making all this stuff, like sometimes that's important, but you're not going to get better at something just because you're confident. Like if I'm like, yeah, I'm really confident I could go knock out this 350-pound, MMA guy. If I'm not competent, meaning I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to get rolled. All right. And so you have to get competent, meaning you have to do the reps. You have to learn how to do this the right way, so you're not banging your head against the wall. And then your competence leads to confidence. And when you know what you're doing and you believe in yourself, that's the magic pixie dust where you go, just crush this thing. Because listen, nobody wants you to be a 7-figure earner in this deal more than us. We want you to. We believe that you do. We believe that you can, which is why we brought you into this deal. And so here's the deal. We have to take action right now, because tomorrow you're going to not be in the state that you are right now. See, right now, if you've been listening, hopefully you're fired up, because I'm fired up. I know Vinny's fired up. I know Rachel's fired up. I know Nick's fired up. Mike's fired up. Everybody knows Mike's fired up because he's like, he sent 20 text messages in the last 5 seconds. All right. He's fired up. And so in order to get to what you want, again, why are you doing this? You have to take massive and immediate action. So how do you take action right now? Well, listen, you have to go on the site and book the ticket. Book the ticket for Dallas on August 13th. Now, you might have no idea how you're going to get there. We'll find a way. If you make the decision, everything else will line up. All right, everything will line up to get you there. We have to find a way. So if you make the decision, everything else will line up. We'll find a way to get you out there. All right, if you've got an event or something like that, we'll find a way to reschedule it. If you need, a babysitter, whatever, we'll find a way to get you a babysitter. If you need a flight, whatever, if you need to drive, whatever, we'll get you there. But all I know is that for you to get where you want to be, for you to actually get there, you need to know what to do, in what order, and the belief in yourself to get it done. And the only way that's going to happen is if you plug into the system. And the only way that you plug into the system is going to the events and get around the people that care about you. Get away from your haters. Get away from the people that don't think you can do it. And sometimes that's the person you see in the mirror. You got to get away. You got to get around people that believe in you more than you doubt, that believe in you more than the people around you that are negative, are hating on you. You can only pick one, right? And you got to get around where the idea of winning, the belief, the love, the camaraderie, the system, everything, where that is bigger than any doubt that you may have. And that's how you win here. And that's what we've done. And we're speaking from experience. And so, guys, listen, I want to see each and every one of us crossing stage at the next big event, not Breakthrough, but at NatCon, walking across stage, getting recognized. I want 80% of that crowd to be our people. And I just want to see the look in your eyes when you know that you had the discipline, that you believed in yourself, that you did what it took to win, and that you arrived. All right. I want to see you get the picture up there with that look on your face, like, yes, I did it. And we all get to be there and say, I knew you could. I know you could do it. Rachel, I know you can do it. Vinny, I know you can do it. Nick, I know you can do it. Everybody, Earl, listen, I know you can do it. So guys, listen, go on, book right now. We will see you August 13th in Dallas, Texas for the most incredible how-to, step-by-step, nuts and bolts and belief training you've ever been to. I'm fired up. So love you guys. That concludes our call. Thank you so much. Go on and book your tickets right now, and also book your hotel. We have a hotel room block, and it's selling out quick, and then the rates go up. So get your hotel room for either Friday night or Friday and Saturday night, or just Saturday night, whatever. Go ahead and get that done, because they are selling out very quickly, and then the prices go up. But let's lock arms and go kick some ass together. Rachel, back to you.
Thank you so much, Dan. That was incredible. All right, y'all. I just posted it in the Legacy Life chat. It is legacylife.co/events. So get your ticket, get your hotel booked, get it all locked in this week so that you can, get it all taken care of. We're so excited. Love you guys. Thanks for getting on the call. Talk to you soon.